right, today, guys, we're going to look at solving rational equations and inequality. Where's the S? There's no S. I feel horrible about myself right now. Inequality. It's supposed to be an S right there, so just pretend there's an S. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to look at problem number 1. You're going to place it carefully in your journal, write it nice and neat. We're going to solve for the value of P that makes this equation true. All right? Now, this is an easy rational equation because it's set up, if you look carefully, it's set up as a ratio equal, this is a ratio, equal to another ratio. And you set up ratios equal to other ratios. We call those proportions. So whenever you have it set up like this, where it just simply looks like a proportion, what you can do we can simply cross multiply. Right? Because in ratios, all right, when you set up as a proportion, cross products are always equal. So right now, we're going to take 4, and we're going to multiply that to P squared minus 2. And then we're going to take P, and we're going to multiply that to the sum of P and 10. So right now, I simply want you in your journal to write down the cross products are equal. And that's if you have what's called a simple proportion. Okay? You're used to seeing things like this. You're used to seeing like 3/4 equals 2 over x. And when you cross multiply, you would get what? 3x equals 8. So what would x equal? 8/3. Okay, that's what you're used to doing. Okay? But these are rational equations, which makes it a little bit more difficult. We have to distribute the 4 to both of those. This is going to become 4p squared minus an 8. We have to distribute the 4 to both numbers. We have to distribute p to both numbers. So you get p times p is p squared, p times 10 is 10p. So now you have the left side of the equation equal to the right side of the equation. Now anytime you're dealing with what's called p squared, you know you're dealing with what's called a quadratic. Right. Quadratic equation. Does anybody in the class remember what we need to do with all quadratic equations? We set them equal to something. That's right. We set it equal to 0. So we're going to take this quadratic and we're going to set it equal to 0. So what I'm going to do to make it as easy as possible, I'm going to take away p squared from this side and take away p squared from this side. Now 4p squared minus 1p squared gives me Nope.
4p minus
4p. I have 4p squared. I take away 1p squared. I have 3p squared is correct. If you have 4, think of it. What's 4 minus 1? 4 minus 1 is 3. If I say 4p squared minus 1p squared, that gives me 3p squared. Don't worry. It's not going to like be on YouTube or anything. All right? So, 4p squared minus 1p squared is 3p squared. All right? So now I have a 3p squared. I have a minus 8 equals a 10p. Well, what do I got to do with this 10p? Got to get rid of it. So I got to do what? That's right. Take it away. Now, if I take away a 10p on both sides of the equal sign, I cannot combine the negative 8 and the negative 10p because they are not alike. So here's all we have. We've got a 3p squared. We've got a minus 10p. And we've got a minus 8. And that simply is equal to a big fat 0. Because that zeroed out and that zeroed out. So this right here is your quadratic equation. Now I'm letting you know right now, this quadratic equation is factorable. All right, this quadratic equation is factorable. If that's a 3p squared, you know you're going to have a 3p up front and a p right here. Because 3p times p is 3p squared. And we're going to be using the FOIL method. But the thing we really need to focus on is not the first. It's not the last. We need to focus on our outer products and our inner products. So right now, everybody, I'm just worried about the oi. All right, the O and the I. Oi. Now our outer products.
The inner is in the middle.
Right, so we have the outer and the inner. Right here we have an 8. What are the only factors of the number 8?
4.
2 times 4 or 8 times 1. So I'm just letting you know, it's either going to be a 2 and a 4, right? A 4 and a 2, an 8 and a 1, or a 1 and an 8. That's it. So right now, I'm just letting you know, it's going to be a 4 and a 2. Now, let me explain to you why. Our outer products right here is going to be a 3p times a 4, which gives me a total of what? 12p. What are the inner products? A 2 and a what? P. Which gives me a what? 2p. Now, what has to be negative in order to meet a negative 10p when you add these suckers together? The 4 needs to be negative in order to make this a negative 12p. I heard you over there, Sam. Good job. And this has to be the what? The plus. So when you add these together, you get a negative 10p. So now that we've met these conditions, what I'd like you to do is put a minus 4 here and put a plus 2 right there. So here are the factors, everybody. The factors are 3p plus 2 times p minus 4 equals 0. Now, in order to solve this, you have to set 3p plus 2 equals 0. And you have to set p minus 4 equal to 0 to solve for it. That's all you have to do. So we have to solve for p here, and we have to solve for p here. Which one's the easy one to solve for? The left or the right? The right. What number? Minus 4 is 0. 4. So that's one of our solutions. The number 4 is one of our solutions. This one's slightly trickier. What do I have to do? I need to take away what? Take away 2. So we have 3p equals negative 2. Divided by 3. That's right. So the other answer would be a negative 2/3. As a solution set, you would write negative 2/3, comma, 4. Now, what I'm going to do, if you guys get your graphing calculators out, what I'm going to do is show you how you can check your answer to make sure that your answers work. So get your graphing calculator out, and I'll show you guys how to use it. All right, now I'm going to show you guys how to check these answers. So right now, let's take a look at our equation right here. Take a look at your equation. What we're going to do is we're going to plug in negative 2/3 first. Right here, we're going to plug in negative 2/3 wherever you see a value for p. So I'm going to show you how to do that in the calculator. So right here, oh, by the way, that's a whole bunch of spiral of Archimedes. That's what we're going to do in pre-cal. So let me reset my calculator. All right. Those are a bunch of polar equations. Don't worry about that. Pretend like you didn't see. All right. Alpha y equals, enter. In the numerator, what I want you to do is I want you to type in a negative 2 divided by 3. And we're going to say plus 10. And in the denominator, you're going to type in, open parentheses, negative 2 divided by 3, close parentheses. You're going to square that sucker. No, just let you do. No. Minus 2. Just press enter. And what do you get? Negative 6. Now, if I do 4, hold on. Figure that out. Alpha y equals enter. If I do 4 divided by a negative 2 divided by 3, look what I get. I still get a negative 6. So if you ever want to check your answer, what did I say we were going to do? I said we're going to take what? Negative 2/3 and plug it right in, correct? Now, what was the easy answer to plug in? Come on, what's the easy one to plug in? 4, right? Plug in a 4.
Do we square you like your calculation?
Yeah. What's that? Right here, we're going to plug in a 4 right there. What's 4 plus 10? What is that? 14, right? And what is 4 squared? right? No, 4 squared is 16, right? 16 minus 2 is what? 14. Is that equal to 4 over 4? You plug it in. Yes. So both of those answers work. Which what we did is we proved that negative 2/3 works and what? The number 4 works. Yes, I'll go back. So in parentheses, I put the negative 2/3 and I squared it. Whenever you square a number, it's very important you put it in parentheses because parentheses matter, people. They matter. All right.
And then, wait.
1 second.
Minus 2?
No. All right, here we go. Going to problem number 5 right here. Number 5, I'd like you to put this in parentheses, and then underneath the number 3, I'd like you to write n plus 2 and n minus 2. Because this, everybody, is what's referred to as a difference of squares, and these are the correct factors for this binomial right here. Now, this looks like a very, very, very complicated problem, but it really isn't that bad if you know what to do. Everybody, what we're going to do right now is we are going to take this whole equation right here. We're going to take everything on both sides of the equal sign, and we're going to multiply everything by n plus 2 and n minus 2. We're going to take everything that you see and multiply it. We're going to multiply this by n plus 2 and n minus 2. We're going to multiply that. We're going to multiply this right over here, all by n plus 2 and n minus 2. So what we're going to do right now is you're going to watch me do it. It's very, very easy. Number 1 times n plus 2 and n minus 2 is n plus 2 and n minus 2. And that's over. N plus 2 plus 1 times n plus 2 and n minus 2 is n plus 2 and n minus 2. And that one's over n minus 2 equals. Now, 3 times n plus 2 and n minus 2 is 3 times n plus 2 and n minus 2. And that's all over n plus 2 and n minus 2. Well, I'm doing this a really, really, really long way to show you why we can do the shortcut the next time. All right? So right now, just write it down as it appears. And when you're ready, you can unpause it. Now, some of you have already noticed. JC, I already noticed you say something. What did you just say that's going to happen right here in this particular one? Right, so these will cancel out. Now, this is why it's important. That would be if it was a rational function. These are rational equations, not rational functions. So right here, these cancel out, and you're simply left with n minus 2. Let's see, what's going to cancel out right here? N minus 2's cancel out. And what are you left with? You're left with n plus 2 equals 3. Why is it just equal to 3? Because everything cancels out. So right now, could you all just write, this is not your answer, but could you write that in your journal and put a box around it and write the word next to it? Look how easy it looks now from where you started. So right now I'm going to take a quick snapshot of what it looks like where we started from and now where we are now. Look where we started from. Does that look complicated? Yes. But now we went from complicated to it looking easy. Kind of easy. Okay, we'll say kind of easy. Now what's n plus n? I've got an n and I'm adding another n. No! 2n is correct. If you have an n and you add another n, that's a total of 2n. By the way, everybody, quick algebra lesson. Ready? N times n is n squared. N plus n is 2n. Hold up on equal shifts right now. N minus n equals 0, and n divided by n equals 1. Now, we have a negative 2 and a positive 2. We're adding those guys together, and they just poof, disappear because Negative 2 plus 2 is 0. Equals the number 3. What's the final step to solving this problem? Divide both sides by 2. And your value, oh, that's horrible. N, everybody, is equal to 3 over 2. Now you guys, I'm not going to go back in the calculator and show you how to plug it in, because I already showed you how to plug it in. But if you were to plug this number in to this equation right here, if you were to plug in a 3 over 2 right there, and you were to plug in a 3 over 2 here, and a 3 over 2 here, everything would work out, all right? We're not going to do this on this video. If you want to check it, that's what you do.
So you just divided everything by 2.
At the very end, yes. Yeah. Very end, divided everything by 2. This is your final answer. You only have one answer. Your final answer, your solution set is one answer known as 3 over 2. If you put 1.5, it's the same. Speed both fraction and decimal. This will be the last problem we do on this particular video. Good luck.